I never planned to become a mother at 19, especially not to my own sister. But when our parents died in that car crash, it wasn't a decision, it was survival. Ellie was 6, still believing in fairy tales, her world full of glitter and princesses. I was barely out of high school with a scholarship to study creative writing in London, dreams of seeing the world, of being free. But in one rainy night on Route 17, everything changed. The police officer's words, "I'm so sorry," echoed in my head for weeks. That first night after the funeral, Ellie crawled into my bed, clutching her stuffed rabbit, its left ear half torn off. "Are you going to leave me too, Sissy?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "No," I said, my throat tight. "Never." I meant it. God, I meant it with every piece of me. I gave up college, moved back into our creaky childhood home in upstate New York, and took a job as a waitress at a diner. I learned how to braid Ellie's hair for school, how to pack lunchboxes with apple slices she'd actually eat, how to read. The Velveteen Rabbit, jar with a steady voice even when tears burned inside. I sold my laptop, the one I'd planned to write novels on, to pay for her school supplies. She called me Sissy at first. Then, one morning when she was 7, she ran into the kitchen, late for the bus, and yelled, "Mom, where's my backpack?" It slipped out by accident. I froze, coffee mug in hand. I didn't correct her. Neither did she. By the time Ellie was 10, I knew her favourite cereal, Lucky Charms, only the marshmallows, the exact temperature she liked her bathwater, warm, not hot, and how to tell when she was lying about brushing her teeth. She'd avoid eye contact and hum. I worked nights at the diner and mornings at a grocery store to keep us afloat. We weren't rich, but we had each other. By 15, Ellie wanted dance lessons. I gave up weekends, picking up extra shifts to pay for ballet shoes and leotards. She twirled through the living room, her laughter filling the house. I'd watch her, exhausted but proud, thinking, this is worth it. By 18, I'd aged a decade. My 20s were a blur of bills, parent-teacher meetings, and microwave dinners. But Ellie, she bloomed, confident, radiant, with a smile that lit up rooms. Everyone loved her, teachers, friends, even the grumpy cashier at the gas station. She was accepted to a community college, dreaming of becoming a choreographer. I thought we were inseparable. I was wrong. It started small. A missed phone call, a cancelled lunch, a birthday she forgot, not mine, but our mother's. We used to light a candle for Mum every year, but this time Ellie texted, "Sorry, forgot. Busy." Then came the boyfriend, Tyler. He had a smirk I didn't trust, a leather jacket, and a way of looking at Ellie like she was a prize. "He's different," she told me over coffee. "He sees me." "You've always been seen," I said, my voice sharper than I meant. She rolled her eyes. "Not like that, Sissy." It was like she'd outgrown me. Like I was the scaffolding she'd climbed to reach the sky, and now she didn't need it anymore. I told myself it was normal, young adulthood, independence, healthy. Then I found out she was lying. Big lies. The kind that shake everything. It was an accident. Mia, my co-worker at the diner, tagged me in a Facebook post, a photo from a party in Albany 2 hours away. Ellie was there in a tight red dress holding a champagne glass, sitting on the lap of a man who wasn't Tyler. My heart dropped. I clicked through the album, each photo a knife. Ellie laughing with strangers. Ellie in a city she swore she wasn't visiting. Ellie wearing the silver necklace I gave her for her 18th birthday, the one she told me she'd lost. I didn't confront her right away. Maybe the photos were old, maybe there was an explanation, but deep down, I knew. I texted her, "Everything okay? Haven't heard from you." Hours later, "Busy, sorry, all good." That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind spun, so I did something I hadn't done in years. I opened the drawer in Ellie's old bedroom. She used to leave notes there, movie tickets, doodles, secret apologies for sneaking candy. 2 weeks ago, she'd stopped by to grab some clothes, leaving a bag of stuff behind. I wasn't snooping. I was desperate. I found a letter, not meant for me, addressed to her friend Jess. "I wish Sissy would stop acting like she owns me. She's not my mum. I never asked her to raise me. I'm tired of pretending I owe her everything. I want a real life." I sat on the floor, the paper trembling in my hands. It felt radioactive. I'd given up my 20s, my dreams, my freedom. And she thought I was controlling, that I wanted to own her. I couldn't breathe. But I told myself, talk to her. Don't explode. Maybe she's hurting too. I called her the next morning. No answer. I called again and again. Finally, I texted, "We need to talk, please." Her reply, "I'm busy, maybe next week." A week passed. Silence. So I drove to her apartment in Rochester, the one I'd co-signed for when she got her first job at a dance studio. She opened the door, surprised, not happy, cold. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "I needed to see you," I said. "To talk." She sighed and stepped aside. "Make it quick." We sat in her kitchen, no coffee, no warmth. She leaned on the counter, arms crossed. "I saw the photos," I began, "and I read a letter." Her face went pale. "You read my private stuff?" "I wasn't snooping, Ellie. I was hurting. I raised you. I loved you more than—" "Yeah, well, I didn't ask you to," she snapped. The room went silent. My ears rang. She didn't flinch, didn't apologize. "I didn't ask you to give up your life. You chose that. You made me feel like a burden my whole life." "A burden?" I whispered. Tears burned, but I held them back. She shrugged. "I just want to live without guilt. Is that so wrong?" It was like a stranger wearing my sister's face. I stood. "No," I said quietly. "It's not wrong to want to live, but it's wrong to rewrite our history to feel better." I left, drove home in silence, and that night, for the first time since I was 19, I cried for myself. Ellie didn't call, didn't text, not even on my 30th birthday. I kept checking my phone, a reflex that hadn't caught up to reality, but nothing came. I made excuses. She's young, she's confused, she'll come around. Weeks became months, silence became acceptance. I stopped cooking for 2, stopped buying her favorite peach tea, stopped pausing at her name in my contacts. Letting go of someone you raised isn't like losing a friend. It's like amputating a part of your soul. I saw her in photos online, laughing, traveling, with friends I didn't know. She'd built a new life, one without me. Once I saw her downtown holding hands with a guy I didn't recognize. I froze. For a second I wanted to call her name, to run to her, but I turned and walked away. At home, I collapsed on the kitchen floor, crying until I shook. Mia noticed I was unraveling. "You need to talk to someone," she said one night, wiping down the diner counter. "A therapist. It helped my cousin." I brushed it off at first, but the weight was crushing me, so I went. Therapy felt like a fraud at first. How do you explain grieving a sister who's alive? But my therapist, Dr. Larson, just listened. "She was never your daughter," she said gently. "You were her sister, a sister who stepped up, but she's allowed to choose who she becomes." I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to be right, to deserve Ellie's love, her gratitude. But slowly I saw it. I'd made Ellie my life because I didn't know how to build my own. I was always the responsible one, the rock, the mother-sister. Who was I without her? That broke me. Then it rebuilt me. The hardest part wasn't the silence, it was living with it. I filled my days with noise, podcasts, TV, walks with music blasting. But the quiet softened, settling like a blanket I learned to wear. One morning, I didn't check my phone for her name. That was the first sign. The second came when Mia told her friend, a social worker, about my story. They asked me to speak at a foster care fundraiser. I hesitated. I wasn't a hero. I'd failed. Ellie left me, but Mia said, "You showed up every day. That's not failure." I spoke that night, not with bitterness, but honesty. I told the room that love is messy, that you can give your heart and still lose someone. A young woman, maybe 20, approached me afterward, trembling. "I'm raising my little brother," she said. "Sometimes I hate it. And then I hate myself for hating it." I hugged her. "You're allowed to feel all of it," I said. "It means you care." That was the third sign that my story mattered. Months passed. Seasons changed. Then, one afternoon, a letter arrived. Handwritten, no return address. I knew the handwriting before I opened it. Sissy, I don't know if you'll read this or if you'll forgive me, but I see it now. All of it. What you did. What you gave. What it cost you. I was angry because I felt trapped by your love, like I'd never be enough to repay you. I pushed you away because I needed to find myself. But I'm not a child anymore. I'm not a daughter. I'm your sister. If you ever want me back, I'm here. Love, Ellie. I cried, but I didn't rush to call. I didn't fall apart. I folded the letter, tucked it into the drawer with her old movie tickets and doodles, and whispered, "Thank you for coming back. But I'm okay either way." Because I was. For the first time in years, I truly was.